For 2 years, the US and the UK military have been dropping tons of powerful bombs, killing countless civilians in Yemen. And every time they committed these war crimes, they justified their criminal act by claiming to degrade the military capabilities of the Houthi rebels or Ansarullah fighters. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer last week, only last week, proudly took to the podium in Parliament to flaunt his country's military strikes on Yemen using the same nonsense that the criminal act was to degrade the military capabilities of the Houthi fighters. I use the term criminal act because past evidence has shown that these military strikes have often hit civilian targets rather than the Houthi rebels or their military installations. Remember this attack by the US that killed tribal Yemeni civilians? You can watch this video here. And the fact that Houthis have once again managed to fire supersonic ballistic missiles targeting the Israeli airport shows that both the US and the UK have been hitting the wrong targets up until now. In other words, they have been lying to us. And barely a few days later, the Houthis have heaped embarrassment on the so called powerful nations of the West by directly attacking Ben Gurion airport in Israel using a supersonic ballistic missile. I use the word embarrassment primarily for two reasons. First, the missile fired by Houthis could not be detected by the so called Iron Dome provided by the US using American taxpayers' money. Just see what US media outlet, pro-Israeli US media outlet, CNN wrote. Its headline read, and I quote, Israel fails to intercept Houthi missile targeting its main airport, showing the limits of US efforts to weaken the group. End quote. And secondly, this comes as a slap on the faces of Trump and Starmer, who proudly justified their war crimes only last week. Isn't it amazing that even the pro-Israeli CNN realizes and they get it that the US and the UK have made a fool of themselves and their citizens for these many years by making wrong claims? And yet, this Starmer chap was telling us in the parliament last week this.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday evening, Royal Air Force Typhoons successfully conducted strikes against Houthi military targets in Yemen in a joint operation with our US allies. This action was in line with long-standing policy of the UK government to defend freedom of navigation in the Red Sea after Houthi attacks fuel regional instability and risk economic security for families in the UK. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to say that all UK aircraft and personnel returned safely, and I pay tribute to the professionalism and bravery of all our servicemen and servicewomen. The Defence Secretary, Mr. Speaker, is making a statement immediately after PMQs.
Clip. Houthis took to social media to add insult to injury to Israelis and their Western backers. Its military spokesperson warned airline companies to stop their businesses in Israel and issued a chilling warning to Israeli backers.
نفذت القوة الصاروخية في القوات المسلحة اليمنية عملية عسكرية نوعية استهدفت مطار بن غوريون في منطقة يافا المحتلة، وذلك بصاروخ باليستي فرط صوتي، وقد أصاب هدفه بنجاح بفضل الله. وكان من نتائج العملية ما يلي: فشل المنظومات الاعتراضية الأمريكية والإسرائيلية في اعتراضه، هروب أكثر من 3 ملايين صهيوني إلى الملاجئ، توقف حركة المطار بشكل كامل ولأكثر من ساعة. وبهذا تجدد القوات المسلحة اليمنية تحذيرها لكافة شركات الطيران العالمية من مواصلة رحلاتها إلى مطار بن غوريون، كونه أصبح غير آمن لحركة الملاحة. وفي وقت سابق مساء أمس نفذ سلاح الجو المسير عملية عسكرية استهدفت هدفا حيويا تابعا للعدو الإسرائيلي في منطقة عسقلان المحتلة، وذلك بطائرة مسيرة نوع يافا. سيواصل اليمن شعبا وقيادة وجيشا بعون الله وبالتوكل عليه والثقة بنصره والثبات والصمود في مواجهة العدوان الأمريكي وعدم التخلي عن أداء الواجب الديني والأخلاقي والإنساني تجاه الشعب الفلسطيني المظلوم مهما كانت التداعيات.
And how did war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu react? By repeating the same old nonsense that we will strike back. Yes, strike back by killing more civilians.
לגבי האיום החותי, הרבה אזרחים בישראל מודאגים מהנושא הזה, מה יש לך לספר?
אנחנו פועלים נגדם. פעלנו בעבר, נפעל גם בעתיד, אני לא יכול לפרט את כל הדברים. ארצות הברית גם בתיאום איתנו פועלת גם נגדם. זה לא זבנג וגמרנו, אבל יהיו זבנגים.
I told you earlier, these are cowards. They are good at killing only innocent people, starving children and babies to death. That's the real strength of these Western leaders and their settler colony project called Israel. Every time they carry out slaughtering of more innocent people, it's either to distract the public from their failures on the domestic front or just to bolster their terrorist friends in the settler colony of Israel. Or else, how do you justify the shameful silence and inaction of these Western leaders on the unfolding of a genocide of over 2 million people in real time in 2025? Social media is replete with videos of children literally suffering. Their parents are posting desperate messages. I can't even see those videos because I'm helpless. I wish I could be of any help to them. I wish I could feed all those children. Do you realize what it is, what it feels like not having food? Not just for one day, not just for 1 week, not just for 1 month. It's been more than 2 months. These evil Israeli terrorists, they have maintained the complete blockade of over 2 million people. Anyway, coming back to the Houthi missile attack targeting the Ben Gurion airport was so powerful that even people at the airport, they felt the shock. Just watch this clip.
Let's bring in our Middle East correspondent, Alistair Bunkall, who's in Jerusalem for us. Pretty unusual, Alistair, isn't it, for missiles to successfully attack Ben Gurion?
Yeah, I mean, this is deeply worrying for Israel, and this has happened too close to home, as it were. The fact that a missile fired from Yemen has not only managed to evade Israel's missile defense system for ballistic missiles, the Arrow system, but also a US anti-missile battery, the THAAD system, and then land very close to the country's international airport. I mean, you know, in response to the ongoing war in Gaza, we've seen in return, particularly the Americans, but also actually the British in the past week, carrying out airstrikes against Houthi positions in Yemen. I suspect the Israelis will now carry out their own strikes, possibly tonight, possibly in the coming days. Benjamin Netanyahu has said that there will be a reaction. And so, you know, it is posing a real threat to this country. And I think a lot of Israelis, I mean, you know, I heard the explosion of the impact up here in Jerusalem. I heard it as we were having breakfast this morning, you know, and that will have reverberated around tens of thousands of homes around central Israel. So it is very, very worrying that this missile managed to get through what is generally considered to be very sophisticated air defenses.
I've added more clips on the Telegram channel since I can't share them here. You can go to my Telegram channel. Details are on the screen. The Houthis have long said that they are targeting ships linked to Israel in the Red Sea to stop its genocidal campaign in Gaza. They said that they had stopped their military campaign in the Red Sea when the bloodthirsty terrorist Netanyahu agreed to stop his evil act in Gaza in January this year by agreeing for a ceasefire. However, the Houthis said that they only resumed their action in the Red Sea after Netanyahu violated the ceasefire. It's not that difficult to end this cycle of violence, in my opinion, cycle of madness. Instead of helping a terrorist called Netanyahu to carry out the daily slaughtering of 100 babies, the UK and the US should use their power to end the genocide in Gaza. Make Israel pay for its war crimes and rebuilding of Gaza. Give Palestinians their own country and help them return to their homeland wherever they were uprooted from since 1948. It's not a rocket science to find a solution unless your only objective is to kill innocent people for fun, just because you are evil. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you do think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should consider becoming part of it. Details are there in the description of this video. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.